Hello there, how are you? I'm Larian Haddock and welcome to another episode of the free game Retrospective here on Bearded Budget Gaming. This week we're looking at a game that was recently dropped for free on Amazon Prime Gaming for activation on GOG. Developed by Pandemic Studios and published by LucasArts, it's time to jump in the cockpit, prepare your blaster and use the Force. It's time to jump into Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005. Oh, and by the way, it literally says classic in the title.
It does exactly what it says on the tin.
Please like, comment, share and subscribe for more content from Bearded Budget Gaming. I know I've recently had another Star Wars game on the channel, but how could I pass up covering one of the greatest games ever created? I mean, I remember being excited for this as a teenager, and many hours being whiled away with some LAN matches with mates. It's completely understandable why this franchise was rebooted. The issue is, why did we have to wait so long? And who thought it was a good idea to give it to the microtransaction kings at EA? Thanks to Amazon Prime Gaming, no? Pick up the classic version for free. Yes, please. Even though the game is nearly 20 years old, it still looks great. Apart from the low-resolution menus, the gameplay will play at 1080p comfortably, the models and weapons still hold up after all this time, and the maps are large, look great, and with up to 64 players a map, it makes it very entertaining. This is the sort of game I made my channel for. Something old, something that's golden gameplay, but not talked about as much as it probably should be, and is generally dirt cheap on online stores. The gameplay, again, even after all this time, is amazing. With a full single-player campaign narrated by Temuera Morrison, who truly has embraced his role as Jango, Boba and the clones over the last 20-odd years. Following the 501st from Geonosis to Hoth and everything in between, including the difficult level of being a clone at the Jedi Temple during Order 66. The single-player campaign does use the gameplay modes well to tell its story, but at times it also feels a bit like an extended tutorial. Not always a bad thing, but you see what I mean. At the time though, having a decent single-player campaign in a Battlefront type game, it wasn't the norm. Making use of the Battlefield style of conquest gameplay fits really well with the world of Star Wars, and the way the developers use that as a base to create a layered and highly replayable game. Whether it's playing through the campaign or using instant action for some capture the flag or assault style gameplay, hero battles are always good for a laugh. Heroes and villains hunting each other down across a map. Boba Fett versus Han Solo. Chewbacca versus the Emperor. See how it goes. Then there's Hunt. Now, the Hunt game mode is, how do I put it nicely? A genocide game mode. Yeah, you heard that right. Hunt mode is clones or the CIS versus the local population, whether that's Geonosians or Gamorrean guards. It's fun, but questionable. Then you have probably my favourite game mode, Galactic Conquest. Like a cross of Battlefront and Risk, it's a galaxy map where you need to control a galaxy. Simple. In turn-based moves on the grand map, you'll be invading and defending planets, trying to rule it all. Once you've taken your turn, whether you move to a planet or come across your enemy's fleet, you'll enter into the standard game mode, kinda like a proto-Mountain Blade. And the fact that this came out so long ago, I'm amazed that this style of gameplay hasn't really taken off, because it's amazing. A bit like the battle gameplay of LEGO Star Wars 3. I'm amazed this wasn't spun off into a further fleshed out standalone game. Sound-wise, it's LucasArts standard. It's amazing, with full use of multiple movie soundtrack songs and appearing to use the movie sound effects for blasters and vehicles as well. And as I mentioned earlier, Temuera Morrison lends his great voice to the narration, and other character voices were provided by regulars from Star Wars games and even the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. With a wide range of troopers and vehicles over both the Republic and Galactic Empire eras, it leads to some classic matchups. Whether you're just having a quick blast in a small skirmish in single player, or now this is going to come as a shock for a near 20-year-old game, you can still find populated servers online. I never said the player count is high, but they're there. I know, right? It's mental.
It's my apology for using the phrase, they've gone mental.
As I've mentioned in previous videos, I love a good mod. I love mod support in games, and this game, with the length of time it's been out, has a plethora of mods.
A plethora? Oh yes, you have a plethora.
Everything from game fixes through to total conversions. Totally worth a try. Now for me, I found Battlefront Remastered to be a fantastic mod. Some fixes, maps, some models, and something that really added to the space battles. They've added more cruisers and other larger ships in the distance, making the space battles truly feel epic compared to some of them coming across a bit sparse in the basic game. Whether via Nexus mods or ModDB, you'll find a great collection that I'm sure you'll likely find something to your taste. Considering Pandemic used their own game engine, it's incredible. Whether you're charging through the fancy streets of Naboo or the dusty alleyways of Mos Eisley, it looks amazing and plays so smoothly. Then take on your space battles, with planets as your backdrops and large capital ships, and tiny fighters vying for victory. Don't get me wrong, it does have some drawbacks, nothing game-breaking or anything, more hilarious. I mean, do you think Yoda really needs his own crouch animation? So there we have it, a blast from the past, a golden oldie, some may even say, platinum. Eh? Well, for only £8.50 on Steam, not on sale. If you've missed it on Amazon Prime Gaming, it's definitely worth the punt for under a tenner for what will give you hours of enjoyment. And that's just with a single player, including getting into games with mates online. It's gonna add so much more. So yeah, highly recommend this pearl of yesteryear, which still holds up today. I've been Lyrian Haddock. Catch you all next time, and may the Force be with you. Always.